Welcome to Muscles and Magic the Gathering. Now, today we've got a really important topic. The topic that's on everybody's mind is dragons. Tarkir Dragonstorm is all over the world right now, and everyone wants to know how to build a dragon deck. Today, we're going to talk about the top 10 dragon support cards of all time. Now, what do I mean by dragon support? They're cards that you absolutely 100% need in your dragon deck, but they're not dragons themselves. So that's what we're going to learn about today. We're going to talk about, first of all, we're going to talk about potential dragon commanders. I think these are the three best dragon commanders of all time. We have the Dragon, we have Miriam's Sentinel Worm, and we have Tiamat. Most people, when they build a dragon deck, they're going to build around these commanders. So the cards that I picked, my top 10 today, certainly fit in these three build-outs or these three decks, but honestly, any type of dragon deck you're going to build, these cards are going to work, so stay tuned for that. First thing we're going to do, after talking about the commanders, we're going to go with honorable mentions. Now, for honorable mention number one, because it was really hard, to be honest with you, it was really hard to narrow this list down to 10 cards. If you're going to build a standard commander deck, you got 100 cards, and we're going to say on average you've got 35 to 40 lands. Some people play with a little less land, some people play with a little more. But let's go with more, just for the sake of argument. Let's say you play with 40 lands. That means you have 60 cards left. You're not going to build a deck with 60 dragons. You do need some support. You need some mana dorks. You need some mana ramps. So it was really hard to include this list and get it cut down to just 10 dragon support cards, right? So I've got some honorable mentions for you to consider or take a look at. The first group, and I put these all in a group because they all kind of do the same thing, right? These are some of the best mana dorks in Magic history that you can include in a dragon deck. We've got the Delighted Halfling. It comes out, it's a 1-drop. You can add a colorless mana, or you can add 1 mana of any color, and you can spend this mana only to cast a legendary spell, and that spell can't be countered. A lot of dragons are legendary. Like if you look at the list I had to start, we had Miriam's Sentinel Worm, right? Legendary creature. We had Tiamat. Legendary creature, the Dragon, legendary creature. There are a ton of legendary dragons, so Delighted Halfling becomes a really, really important mana dork, if you will. The Bloom Tender, for each color among permanents you control, add 1 mana of that color. We have the Noble Hierarch. It's exalted. Whenever a creature you control attacks alone, that creature gets +1/+1 until the end of turn, and then you can add a green, a white, or a blue. It's a 1-drop. We have the Birds of Paradise. It's flying. Add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. All right, I think that's the greatest mana dork of all time. And then we've got Eska, God of the Tree. Vigilance, add 1 mana of any color. Other legendary creatures you control have Vigilance and add 1 mana of any color. And then it's one of those double-sided cards that you can bring it out as the Prismatic Bridge if you want. Now, this isn't going to work in Miriam's Sentinel Worm because it's 5 colors, but it will work in the Dragon. It will work in the Tiamat deck. And at the beginning of your upkeep, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a creature or planeswalker card. Put that card onto the battlefield and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. So another great mana dork and another great card for a dragon card buildup. So I put these all in one category, mana dorks. The next category of honorable mention is lands. Lands really help when you're building a dragon deck. The first one up, we have Cavern of Souls. If you're building any type of kinfolk deck, Cavern of Souls is an absolute must. As Cavern of Souls enters the battlefield, choose a creature type, add 1 to your mana pool, add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool, spend this mana only to cast a creature spell of the chosen type, and that spell can't be countered. Making your spells so they can't be countered is a huge advantage in Commander, so that land certainly is an honorable mention. Crucible of the Spirit Dragon. Add 1 to your mana pool. If you pay 1, you can put a storage counter on Crucible of the Spirit Dragon. And then if you tap it, remove X storage counters from Crucible of the Spirit Dragon, add X mana in any combination of colors to cast to your mana pool or to add to your mana pool. Spend this mana only to cast dragon spells or activate abilities of dragons. And then finally, we have Haven of the Spirit Dragon. Add 1 to your mana pool. Add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. Spend this only to cast a dragon creature spell. And if you want to sacrifice it, You can return target dragon creature card or Ugin Planeswalker card from the graveyard to your hand. So 3 great lands, honorable mentions for your dragon deck buildup. So now that we've gone over the honorable mentions, right? We've talked about the potential dragon commanders. There are more dragon commanders in this. These 3 are just the ones that I think the best. I want to make that clear. We went over the honorable mentions. We went over the 3 potential commanders. Now it's time to go over, because you've been waiting for this, the top 10 dragon support cards of all time. And the first one we're going to talk about, coming in at number 10, the Dragon Master Outcast. All right, it's a 1-drop. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you control 6 or more lands, put a 5/5 red dragon creature token with flying onto the battlefield. Generally in a game, especially a game with 3 other people involved, so a 4-person game, you're going to get to the point where you have 6 or more lands. This card is going to be a monster, and it's a 1-drop. One of the problems with building dragons, and you'll see this problem with Leviathans, you'll see it with golems, you'll see it with Eldrazi's, is that they're big, beefy creatures, and the mana value of your deck gets really, really high. In a lot of my series and a lot of my commander buildouts, I talk about the total mana value of the deck. Now, what's the total mana value of the deck? All right, it's the total value of all the mana symbols put together throughout all your cards. So if you look at the Air Dragon, there's 9 here, right? There's 4 colorless, and then there's 1 of each color, so there's 9. Dragon Master Outcast would put that number to 10. Miriam Sentinel Worm, there's 6 here. That would put that number to 16. So if you think about, you have 60 cards in a commander deck. You know, we talk about varied number of lands between 35 and 40, but we went with 40 lands to start the show. If you have 60 cards and each of them, say, has a mana value of 5, that's a total mana value of the deck of 300. The problem with that deck, it's going to move really, really slow. When I build my competitive decks, one of the stats that I look at is that the total mana value of the deck needs to be 200 or under. That means I'm going to get things off fast. That means I'm going to move really fast through my cards and through my turns, and I'm going to be able to enact my strategy. One of the problems with dragons is they're all massive, beefy creatures. Like, just look at Dragon and Tiamat alone, right? Like, those are massive casting costs. So I want to make sure I have a lot of cards in my deck that are low casting cost. This is a 1-drop. It's a 1/1 creature. It can act as a blocker. And then I get a huge bonus if the lands come out. So I love the Dragon Master Outcast. That is number 10. Number 9, the Dragon Speaker Shaman. Dragon spells you play cost 2 less to cast. It's only a casting cost of 3, which is great. It's a 2/2 creature, which is good enough for me. It's good as a blocker. But the key here is dragon spells cost 2 less to play. That's huge, especially when dragons are expensive. I've actually got my dragon deck here just so I can kind of show you. And we might go through this dragon deck a little bit, although I've done a whole other video on it. Look at the Vera Hellkite. It's a casting cost of 8. Shivan Devastator, casting cost of 1 and plus whatever you want to get. The Twin Flame Tyrant, a casting cost of 5. The Hellkate Courser, a casting cost of 6. The Ancient Copper Dragon, a casting cost of 6. You can see these dragons are all really, really expensive. And pardon me as I look for more dragons. Skithiryx, the Blight Dragon, 5. Terror of the Peaks, 5. You can see these get really, really expensive. Old Gnawbone, 7. So my point is, you want to make sure you can get these dragons out as quickly as possible. And the Dragon Speaker Shaman helps you do just that. So that is number 9 on the list. Number 8 on the list, Dragon's Horde. It's a 3-drop artifact. Whenever a dragon enters the battlefield under your control, put a gold counter on Dragon's Horde, remove a gold counter from Dragon's Horde, draw a card, and you can add 1 mana of any color. So it acts as a bit of mana ramp. It acts as a bit of mana fixing. I can get 1 mana of any color, but it also has got a card draw feature, and I promise you, in any commander deck that you're ever going to build, card draw is a good thing. The more cards you can draw, the better chance you're going to have to win. So card draw is huge, and it works really well, and you're going to see a lot of synergies with this card. This Ancient Gold Dragon, I actually did a list. I'll put it in the show notes, my top 10 dragons of all time, and I don't think I ranked this one appropriately. I'm starting to realize how good this card is. Whenever Ancient Gold Dragon deals combat damage to a player, roll a d20. You create a number of 1/1 blue fairy dragon creature tokens with flying equal to the result. So I'm going to kind of show you how this works. And I love rolling D20s. I love Dungeons and Dragons. I love rolling dice. All right, so let's say I attack with the Ancient Gold Dragon and I roll a D20. I get a 9. Well, whenever a dragon enters the battlefield under my control, I put a gold counter on Dragon's Heart or Dragon's Hoard. Now I'm going to put 9 counters on it. That's a lot of card draw for the rest of the game. So these cards work really well together. And Dragon's Hoard, even if you never are able to draw a card, just the fact you can add 1 mana to any color. When you see a lot of these dragons I had out, how they're multicolored, all right, it's going to help you with some mana fixing. So great card. Number 7, Dragon's Tempest. It's an enchantment. Whenever a creature with flying enters the battlefield under your control, it gains haste until the end of turn. Whenever a dragon enters the battlefield under your control, it deals X damage to target creature or player, where X is the number of dragons you control. Again, I got to bring it back out because I undervalued this. The Ancient Gold Dragon, look how good those 2 cards work together. If you're going to make one change to your dragon deck today, I am putting the Ancient Gold Dragon in it. That actually, Ancient Dragon series from Baldur's Gate is tremendous. You have the Bronze Dragon, you have the Gold Dragon, you have the Copper Dragon. What was the other one? The Blue Dragon that gives you all of the, I think it was actually the Ancient Silver Dragon, the one that gives you all the cards, right? It was just a tremendous, I'm looking for it right now. There we go. I have all the dragons you can see at my disposal, but this Ancient Silver Dragon was tremendous. I accidentally called it the Ancient Blue Dragon, but a way to get a bunch of card draws. So these are cards you absolutely need in your deck. But the Dragon Tempest coming in at number 7, right? And coming in at number 6, we have Show and Tell. Not your traditional dragon card, but really helpful in a dragon deck. And here's why. It helps you cheat out big creatures early. One of the problems with dragons, they have massive casting costs and they're multicolored, so it might be hard to get your creatures out. Show and Tell, for 1 blue mana and 2 colorless, each player may put an artifact, creature, enchantment, or land card from his or her hand onto the battlefield, all right? It's a way to cheat out your big creatures. Now, I don't know if I would play this if someone was running Eldrazi. I don't know if I would play this if someone was running Leviathans, because chances are they have a big, beefy creature in their hand, right? But if they're running goblins, if they're running elves, if they're running vampires, they're running zombies, I promise you I'm going to have the bigger, badder creature. And theoretically, you could get Tiamat out on turn 2. If in turn 1, you had an island and a soul ring, turn 2, you could cast Show and Tell, you get a Tiamat, that might be the game right there. So Show and Tell is number 6. Number 5, Minion of the Mighty from Adventures in Forgotten Realms. I've said this before, and I want to say it again. I am on record as saying Adventures in Forgotten Realms is a completely underrated set. It was phenomenal, that set. So many good cards in it. Teleportation Circle, Old Gnawbone. I absolutely loved it. But one of the lesser known cards for it is Minion of the Mighty. Again, it's a 1-drop. Keeps the total mana value of my deck fairly low. And whenever Minion of the Mighty attacks, if you attacked with creatures with a total power 6 or greater this combat, you may put a dragon creature card from your hand onto the battlefield, tapped and attacking. So another great card and a way that you can cheat dragons from your hand onto the battlefield. So I love Minion of the Mighty coming in at number 5. Number 4, Sarkhan Unbroken, a Planeswalker. It's a 5-drop. Comes out with 4 loyalty counters. You activate it and put 1 loyalty counter on it. You draw a card, then add a mana of any color. So again, there's a theme here. I'm trying to add a lot of mana to my mana deck. When we went over the honorable mentions, all right, ways to add a lot of mana to my deck. And by the way, these are all cards I actually have in my dragon deck. I just didn't pick these off the internet. These are actually a part of my dragon deck that I'm looking through right now. But I also have another one that I forgot about, just to show you how serious I am about mana. Like, I have a Chromatic Lantern. I have a Dryad of the Elysian Groves. I've got, let me see what else we've got in here. I know I have an Ignoble Hierarch, okay? I probably should have added that with the Noble Hierarch, but I've got a lot of mana fixing type stuff in here. And Sarkhan Unbroken gets me a bit of card draw. Again, card draw is never a bad thing. I get a mana of any color. The -2 ability, which you can activate right away. I can create a 4/4 red dragon creature token with flying. And the final ability, search your library for any number of dragon creature cards and then put them onto the battlefield, right? People talk about Tiamat all the time. When Tiamat enters the battlefield, if you cast it, search your library for up to 5 dragon cards and put them on the battlefield. This lets me put all the dragons onto the dragon cards. So this is like a beefed up Tiamat. And the Tiamat casting cost is 7, right? This comes out for a 5. But if I wait 4 turns, which essentially makes it like a 9, man, then I get all my dragons. I absolutely love this card. All right, so we've covered 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Top 3. I bet you can't wait. Sarkhan, Soul of Flame. It's a 3-drop. It's a 2/4, which is pretty big. Dragon spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. Whenever a dragon enters the battlefield under your control, you may have Sarkhan, Soul of Flame become a copy of it till the end of turn. Except its name is Sarkhan, Soul of Flame, and it's legendary in addition to its other types. Look how that works with that. Look how that works with the Ancient Copper Dragon. Look how it works with any dragon, and it makes my dragons cost less. And if you look at the other cards I had, right? I had the Dragon Speaker Shaman. I've got a lot of these cards that add mana or make my dragons cost less. So that is number 3. The top 2. All right, here we go. Dragon Arch coming in at number 2. Put a multicolored creature card from your hand into play. It's a 5-drop, and then for 2 mana, you can just put a bunch of creatures out. So you can get Tiamat out, you can get Miriam Sentinel Worm out, you can get some of your other big beefy dragons out. So listen, Dragon Arch is a must include. And I actually put this in my Elementals deck. I have a 5-color Elementals deck. I put it in my 5-color Dinosaur deck. Super useful card, not just in a dragon deck. So I absolutely love the Dragon Arch, and that is number 2. And now number 1. You've been waiting a whole show for this. Bobby Maximus, what is your number 1 dragon support card? Before we get to it, we're going to count down again. We got number 10, Dragon Master Outcast. Number 9, Dragon Speaker Shaman. Number 8, Dragon's Horde. Number 7, Dragon's Tempest. Number 6, Show and Tell. Number 5, Minion of the Mighty. Number 4, the King of the Planeswalkers when it comes to dragons, Sarkhan Unbroken. Number 3, Sarkhan Soul of Flame. Number 2, Dragon Arch. And number 1, you guessed it, Urza's Incubator. All right, not everybody's number 1. It's my number 1 for sure. When Urza's Incubator comes into play, choose a creature type. Creature spells of the chosen type cost 2 less to play. I love cards in my dragon deck that help me get going early. And if you look at all of these cards, they have the same type of theme. They help with mana fixing. They make my dragons cost 1 less to cast. We talked about having all the mana dorks in this kind of deck. Ramos Dragon Engine kind of has a really cool effect with that, where you can add a bunch of mana. We've got a Yavimaya Cradle of Growth to make all my lands, forests, and additional to their other types. You see, when you're building a dragon deck, if I could give you one piece of advice, it's to have a lot of mana ramp to get the game started quicker. It's to keep the overall mana value of the deck fairly low. It's why I like lower casting cost dragons. Again, on my YouTube, I did a list of the top 10 dragons of all time, and I prefer the dragons with the lower casting costs. You know, I'm not as high on Tiamat as everybody is because it's got a massive casting cost. I would much prefer a Skithiryx the Blight Dragon, or I would much prefer an Ancient Copper Dragon because of the lesser casting cost, or something like the Goldspan Dragon. So again, to recap, I want a lot of mana dorks. I want a lot of low casting cost stuff, and I want things that help cheat my dragons out early. So that's why the number 1 for me is that Urza's Incubator, because it costs 2 less to cast. And now if I have that, and I have Dragon Speaker Shaman on the field, and I have that Sarkhan Soul of Flame, well, now a lot of my dragons are coming out really, really fast. And by turn 3, turn 4, turn 5, my deck is absolutely rolling. If you want to see my complete dragon deck, there will be a link in the show notes. If you want to see my top 10 dragons of all time, there will be a link in the show notes. And here's my ask for you today. I would love for you to comment on this video and tell me what's your favorite dragon support card of all time. Because I'll tell you what happens with Magic the Gathering, right? there are a lot of cards. Like, just look at all these cards. There are tons. There are some cards I miss, and I always learn from people in the community. One of my favorite things about Magic the Gathering is the people in the community and the talks we have and the strategies and the differences of opinion. And so if you can put a dragon card that I missed here, a dragon support card that I missed in the comments, it would mean the world to me, because maybe I can add it to my deck. Maybe I can learn a little bit. And I'm always trying to learn. There are so many cards, I can't keep track of them all. So that's my ask to you. Put your favorite dragon support card in the comments below, and I will see you for the next episode of Muscles and Magic the Gathering. And don't forget, I am Bobby Maximus. I am the muscles, and I got a lot of muscles. And these cards, these are Magic the Gathering, something that's been a huge passion of mine for 30 years. So thank you for coming by. Top 10 Dragon support cards of all time. I'll see you in the next episode. Subscribe, turn your notifications on. This is your #1 stop for the best. And honestly, these cards are real cards, the most real content in the Magic the Gathering multiverse.